Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, Vet Walks. Today we are going to talk about the slavery in ants. Slavery in ants is a unique phenomenon. You may think that it is same as in case of humans, but it not, since it differs from slavery between species. That is, members of one species enslave those of another, related species. It also differs in being biological rather than in cultural. Coming to the case, slave-making species of ants are widely distributed in the world. And most of the reported battles between ant colonies are actually the slave raids. There are certain reddish species of the genus Formica which undertake frequent raids on colonies of some of the common and rather docile black species of the same genus Formica. In this case, there will be the columns of workers approaching and surround the nest to be plundered, causing alarm, attempts to escape. Eventually the more aggressive slave makers enter the nest, seize larvae and pupae, and carry them back to their own nest. So what happens is that, when these larvae or pupae they took will develop into adult workers, which acquire the current colony odor and perform their normal behavior in the alien nest without knowing their actual colony, thus effectively supplementing the worker force of the slave-making species. There is a recent research by E.O. Wilson and his colleagues at Harvard University. In that he has shown that slave makers of at least some species have enlarged DeForce glands in their abdomens. When they approach a nest of the slave species, they spray the contents of these DeForce glands onto the workers. This secretion consists of a mixture of acetates that causes the workers of the slave species to become alarmed and disorganized. But curiously, the effect of the acetates on the slave makers is quite the reverse. They produce attraction and excitement, as Wilson says. Exactly the responses needed to conduct successful slave raids. By and large, the colonies of most ant species defend themselves well against incursion by alien colonies. And they may sometimes resort to physical combat to maintain territorial boundaries. For example, in honeypot ants of the deserts of the southwestern United States, territories of ants are defended by ritualized displays in which workers of opposing colonies stilt wall. In this, at first they face one another, then begin to circle and try to push one another sideways. Such tournaments, recently described by Bert Holdobler of Harvard University, may continue for many days. In such situations, if one of the colonies is unable to recruit enough workers to the tournament, it may be overrun by the stronger colony, and the brood and the other nest contents are carried off. Thus the surviving workers then become incorporated into the raider's nest. This is the only known example of slavery occurring within one species of ant.